Hi, I'm Joshua Alvarez, right here from Canada Star TV, and today we're going to show Canada Pitch. So today we have a very exciting and timely project. Unfortunately, in our city, there has been a lot of gun violence, and yes, it raises questions, there's topics, there's debate, but the beauty of everything is that there's also art. And in the art, we see talented people trying to make sense out of this situation. So over here, we have a nice group of talented people, people that I've known for some years, and it's great to see you here, okay?
Good to see you too.
So I'm gonna start by introducing Chad. He's a director, he's actor, he's a producer as well. And tell us about this wonderful project, Chad.
Yeah, well, Toronto the Good faces some tough issues that we're dealing with right now, such as gun violence, policing, racial politics, gangs and youth, and education in the city. The play was written by Andrew Moody, one of my mentors, one of Gloria's mentors from the Toronto Film School. And Andrew wrote this in 2005 after the Year of the Gun, due to all of the violence that was coming up in that era. And he wanted to make a dialogue about it. And now with everything going on, Gloria approached me about doing this project, and I felt it was the right time and the right message to be sending, so I jumped on board.
Great, great. So Chad, as a director, please introduce all of the talent.
Yes, well, sitting next to me here is my producer, Gloria Gift, who is also acting in the show. She'll be playing Marianne Shad, reporter. Here we have Alison Mullings, and she is playing Officer Elsie McGill. Next we have Quincy Schmidt, who is playing Thomas Matthews, the Crown Attorney. And beside him, his wife, Amanda Matthews, played by the lovely Mélie Rondeau.
Good, all right. So Chad, tell us, what attracted you to this project?
This project, it's the message that's deep down in there, basically, that we all living in Toronto, we need to come together as a community, and we need to come up with a solution on all of these issues. And, you know, the people at the government level, they can do what they can do, but we as people living on the streets, need to do something, and we need to awaken each other up to these issues.
Good, good. I like a word that you used earlier on. You said that it has an unbiased approach.
Right, yeah, so it's telling the story from people from all walks of life, you know. It's telling the story from the police officer's perspective, from the Crown Attorneys and the legal perspective, from the educator's perspective, from the youth that are in the gangs and that are in the schools, from their perspective as well.
Okay, great, great. So now let's go to Gloria, my good friend Gloria.
Nice to meet you again.
Nice to meet you again too, after so many years.
After so many years. For those who don't know, I actually voiced a piece for Joshua back in school. What was it called again? I'm forgetting. It was a short film?
Yes, it was a short
film. And he gave me my first IMDb credit. So I think here we are again.
Here we are
I'm in
again.
your studio.
Absolutely, absolutely.
A pleasure.
The pleasure is mine.
Yes.
So you have two roles here. You're
Yes.
a producer and you're an actor.
Yes.
Let's talk about the producing aspect.
So, as a producer, I was hungry to create. I wanted to, you know, when you're hungry, you're fresh out of school, and you know, you have all these expectations from what they teach us in school. You know, you get an agent and you go for auditions, and things are not entirely that pleasant out there. So I said, you know what, I'm going to create my own work. I'm going to create work, but I know that I can't do this on my own. So I'm going to create, and I love to work with people. You know, I like to work with large numbers of people, not just because of working with them, but also I like to see other people shine. You know, it makes my heart, it fills my heart with glee when I see other people shine. And when I was searching for a project to do, I was looking for Canadian playwrights. Again, I wanted to bring it to Canada because I'm grateful to the country that has given me a new home. I come from a very distasteful place right now, as it's happening in the news, Uganda, East of Africa, and I'm very grateful to be in Canada, like really, really deeply grateful. So I wanted to do a project that Canada would be proud of, and also be proud of me as an immigrant to see that I'm paying an homage to the country that has given me a new home.
That's beautiful.
So I was looking for Canadian playwrights, to be very exact, and as I was doing my research, Andrew Moody was on top of the list as one of Canada's amazing playwrights. And I knew Andrew Moody from our classes in Toronto Film School, Alison and Quincy. He taught us, and also Chad, did you?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think you've taught all of us.
There you go. So it was like a sign.
It was
like a
meant
sign.
to be.
Literally, it was actually meant to be. And of course, he has some other projects, but when I read Toronto the Good, I resonated. I just read the synopsis and it made so much sense. I connected with it, and it was real for me. I could see the play come to life by just reading
beautiful.
the synopsis.
I love that.
And when I was casting, I remember when we were casting, I told him, I said, there's some characters that I already see, but we won't tell them just in case they
Just in case they don't get it.
just in case they want to dilly-dally in their auditions, let's make them work for it.
Of course.
So, as you read, I read the book twice.
Good.
I read the book twice, and then I brought in Chad. I wanted to work with Chad since I met him in 2012. So this was a perfect, when I was looking for somebody to work with, and I was like, I need a director. And I had seen some of his work and how he just goes about his business. I was like, that is the person I'm going to work with. And good enough, when I shared with him the project, and we connected very deeply on the causes, on what the issues are about. We shared on what we think as Gloria and Chad, what can we do about this? Well, we are actors, and this is a way of saying we're using art, like you said, to bring
Yes.
change in society, to have an impact on society. Whereas the media sells the glamour part of being an actor, we are showing them that we can use art to actually have an impact on society and bring about change.
Absolutely, yes, beautiful. I
That
love
is
that.
That's how Toronto the Good came about.
Good.
All of us.
And you know what? And I've worked with both of you.
Yes.
And I see the dynamics, you guys together, And I kind of foresee that this is not going to be the last project.
I don't think so. No, it's like
Okay, good.
kind
All
of like
right.
the yin to the yang.
Yes, I'm
I
all
know,
excited
yeah.
about this. Okay,
Yes,
so now let's go to the actor part.
Yes, the actor part. Mary Ann Shadd. She was the first black news reporter, woman. Let me say it correctly. She was the first black reporter in a newspaper as a woman in Canada. And she was also the publisher of Canada's first anti-slavery paper.
Okay.
So, and funny thing, when I was in Uganda, I used to be a journalist. So now I bring a bit of my life experience to actually bring it on stage, So I have bits of, I was a news anchor back in Uganda and a radio host for about 6-7 years. So I bring that experience, but I bring it on stage, and I'm asking the hard questions because these are questions that need to be asked. I need to know why the lawyer, Thomas Matthews, chooses to defend a white police officer on what grounds? I am a black woman, he has to defend that. But then again, I'm trying not to be biased because, he's entitled to that. Why not? Why wouldn't a black lawyer defend a white criminal or a police officer? But then I have to ask the hard questions. It is my job. So I'm going to ask the hard questions, and I'm hoping to do a great job at it.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Hey, I'm all excited about this. Okay, so now let's go to Alison right here.
Hi, I'm Alison Mullings. Oh, yes. I'm Alison Mullings. I play Officer Elsie McGill. I'm accused of racial profiling. And Elsie McGill was the first female engineer in Canada. And actually, when I was researching her more, her mom was the first female judge in Canada. So she comes from a family of very strong, powerful women. And so I'm hoping to bring that to her character as well. Her character and what she brings to this play is it makes you question the legal side and our system that we have in place. If there's flaws in the system, if there's anything we can fix to make it more foolproof. Because to her, she's just doing her job. She's doing it, and she feels like she's taking the right steps. It's a routine moment. There's nothing overly special about it at the beginning, and then it turns into a huge lawsuit. She has to defend herself, and Quincy here has to defend me, and I'll pass it over to him so he can tell you about his job.
Okay, so I see here The play is going to talk about gun violence. I see racial tensions coming on.
yes.
Okay, it has all of the ingredients for a lot of talk.
good stuff.
And the good stuff. Yeah, it's like we were saying at the beginning, right? I've been in Canada and I'm happy here for 7 years. And something that I've noticed is that by law, usually when there's something that happened, an event, they never describe the ethnicity of the person, eh?
Yeah.
Like in yesterday's shooting, they just described 2 young guys, 21, and I go, okay, right? So, but coming from a minority, I see both sides, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to be racially profiled, but at the same time, I feel deep respect for the police officers who are out there risking their lives, and they're right there in the line of fire to protect me, right? I see both, right? Okay, so Quincy, tell us about your character.
Well, my character is Thomas Matthews. He's the first Black Crown attorney in Toronto. And Thomas Matthews is going to have a very, very difficult but interesting job. Thomas Matthews is going to basically be in a conflict between his own skin color, being in such a high profession, but also in such a high intense case. Thomas Matthews will be dealing with race, will be dealing with gun violence, and we'll be seeing how a lawyer, from the law point of view, will handle it. How do lawyers go about handling case of racial injustices? Are lawyers guilty of partaking in the system's downfall? Or are lawyers really doing their job to really help the system and help us become a better city? I will be working and defending Miss Officer McGill, who will be charged with racial profiling. And the question will be, why is it a Black lawyer took on a case to defend a white police officer? The typical idea is the white police officer is the one in the wrong. Is she in the right this time? Mm-hmm. What is it that caused her to be brought to such situations? We got to look at it from both sides. We'll now see the side of the white, the Black, the brown, and the blue. Toronto is made up of all of those blends.
All of those. And it's not a blend.
Not quite.
Not quite a blend. But we're all here.
We're all here.
Yes.
And we call it Toronto the Good because, again, it will remind people of what it is that we still have left in the city.
Absolutely.
Gloria, Chad, Alison, Amanda, we all will be collaborating and bringing it to the front. What is it Toronto still has to do? What is it we have to do as artists that partake in this city, that want to make success happen in this city through acting, through TV and film? Okay. And Thomas Matthews will have a very, very interesting role in figuring that out.
Sure does. But now I have a question and going a little bit into your character, Because if I'm not wrong, the beautiful woman next to you is your wife in the play.
Yes.
Yeah. So we see a Black lawyer defending a white police officer. Mm-hmm. But we also see somebody who's open towards other ethnicities.
Yes.
Okay. So what is your character's take in this? Because I'm sure that probably the Black community will be pointing at you, right?
Yes, and like you said earlier, both sides kind of have hold its both weight. The Black community will say, why is it that he's not out here defending the Black community, who has a right to say that, but at the same time, he has a right to defend what his job title is. He has a right to stand up for what he is, what his profession says. That at the end of the day, the law will dictate what his decisions are made, but we are still human beings.
That's right.
And we have feelings, and sometimes our feelings may not agree with what our job title says and what we have to do, but that will be the rock and the hard place. Thomas will be challenged between his race and his profession.
So it's going to be a debate, an inner conflict between your loyalty, or what may be perceived as your loyalty, and your ethics as well.
Exactly, and being someone who's African American, has he had something like this? Does he feel like this? Or how does he go about in his everyday life dealing with people of different ethnicities, defending them, bringing them to justice? You know, it's a very, very interesting place. You're right in the middle, basically. And you have your wife, your beautiful wife. You have your friends who you're looking to defend. Are you going to choose them? Or are you going to choose your race? Or are you going to choose the law?
And I think that's it. Just to add on to what Quincy has said, it's about we bring that back to society.
Yes.
That's where we throw, as a cast, we're throwing it back to society. Yeah. What is your say in this? What do you think? What part have you played towards the hard place or the solution?
Yeah.
You know, as a society, what is your role? As Joshua, what is your role in this?
Yeah.
That's where I think, and I think even I, just reading about this, that challenged me, because I'm thinking, why wouldn't he, because he's black, it's his job. But why do I think that that's bad? Why do I think that that's a negative? Whereas he's doing his job, but at the same time, he's my color. Why doesn't he choose us? Do you know what I mean? So society, we're bringing it back to the society, and back to Chad's words. I think that's where he says it's non-biased, and it's for everybody to say, what role have I played, and what's the solution? What have I contributed?
Oh, beautiful. This is a very clever play, I could see, eh? Very good, very good. Okay, so now let's talk to the beautiful wife.
I'm the beautiful wife. I play Amanda Matthews. She's pregnant. I don't think we've mentioned that. They're expecting a child.
Okay.
So I'm going to be wearing a belly, obviously, because right now I am not. She's Franco-Ontarian. She's from Ottawa, and I'm myself from Quebec, so I'm Franco-Canadian, and I'm very proud to be playing someone with my own accent. I don't have to fake anything. I can speak just the way I usually speak.
So this is your true accent?
This is my true accent.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. This is me.
I thought she was just trying to impress us.
No. I'm always Amanda. No, this is my true voice, my true accent, and I'm very happy to be able to express it in the play. Amanda is a teacher. She teaches in a high school. And what's great about the play, I love the way Andrew wrote her character, because she is not just the top crown attorney's wife. She is his wife. She's there to support him. We have some great scenes together. But she's a teacher, and she's also going through some of her own stuff as well. In her own school, some of the students are dealing with gun violence, sexual violence, and she has to deal with that. And through her character, she's raising a lot of questions. I feel like a lot of people in the audience will relate to her, because sometimes she's directly talking to the audience, and I love the fact that I'm gonna be able to create that connection with the audience. So yeah, she's going through her own stuff, like what is her responsibility, what can she do, what is her power in this like very difficult situation. And being pregnant, she's also aware that living in a city such as Toronto, coming from another environment, she's asking herself some questions. Do I really want to raise a family here? I'm happy with my husband.
Yes.
I'm happy with my job, but is Toronto the best city to raise a family, like to build a family? So yeah, I have a feeling a lot of people are going to relate to her. I personally relate a lot to her. I remember reading the character description at the beginning of the book, of the play, and right before auditioning, and just the fact that her favorite band is Genesis, it's also mine. So that's super random, but I mean, I was reading it and I was like, I need to play this character. And then I read the play and it was just fantastic. I was like, I want to be a part of this, and I'm really grateful to be able to be here today and to be in this play with this amazing cast.
Genesis.
Yeah.
Genesis.
Yes, I know.
Who knew?
I love Phil Collins with all my heart, literally.
Yeah, same here.
I'm sorry, I'm a millennial. The last one. Okay, that's beautiful. And as a teacher, right? Because now let's go to the teacher part. I'm sure that teachers talk about this as well, eh?
I'm sure they do.
Yes, like for instance, and we were talking about this at the beginning. I went to the States for elementary school, and I remember going to school, and it was a happy moment of my life, like walking. My sisters and my friends, we were just singing on our way to school, playing games, learning, going back home, singing again. It was so peaceful. It was a beautiful moment. But now when I see the news, and I see children practicing gun drills, I see backpacks that are bulletproof, I go, wow. I'm sure teachers are talking about it a lot. Eh?
And it just happened here as well. If you think about it, they shot at a playground. There were gunshots at a playground. I'm sure teachers do talk about it because it's happening here. I mean, that's when we were talking about it with the child, we're like, we can't keep looking at the news of what's happening over and beyond, on the news, and this happened in America,
That's
Florida,
right.
here, ABCD. We have to bring Toronto back to Toronto. We have to make people look at Toronto from within.
Yeah.
So it's
That's
not
beautiful.
just CP24. It's not just happening on the news. It's in our families. You know, when she talked about her being pregnant, you know, can you imagine bringing your child into this society
Yes.
today? You know.
Yeah, and I really feel that it's a universal to any city. This couldn't necessarily be
Absolutely.
Toronto the
Absolutely.
good. This could be Chicago the good. This could
Yes.
be New York the good. Miami the good. You know,
Valencia the
anyway.
good.
Exactly. No,
Yes.
any city around. Cities are global melting pots, right? Where you come here, there's people from all different cultures, all different ethnicities, you know, trying to live the best life they can. And luckily in Canada, you know, we can all come together and be able to believe what we all want to believe.
Yeah.
But how can we all live together, you know, on a common ground, and you know,
That's right.
and make each other feel safe, being each other, you know, being yourself.
That's
And like
right.
I think he said, I think that's a good point. Maybe Toronto will be the example to the rest of the nation, the other cities, that this is what can be done. We had Chad do a protest about a month ago at the square. It was amazing.
that's Chad, that's Chad,
It was,
right?
It's Chad, right?
The Chad,
I
that's
was-
the Chad I know.
I was so riled up after the Danforth shooting, and I just, you know, after being on this journey directing this since April, and then what happened on the Danforth the day after, I woke up and I felt I needed to do something. I needed to have more than the voice I was given. So I stood at City
It's
Hall,
always-
you know, with a sign which said, like, I don't want to be a victim, right? And luckily, you know, I have not been a victim of gun violence, you know, anyone close to me or close to my family, but I feel that it is close to me. It's like right next door. It's, you know, it's right there, and I feel that I had to do something.
Yeah, and usually when something like this happens, usually you get to see polarized opinions, right? That are pro-gun, anti-gun, and then the whole debate comes back and forth, right? And when we analyze both points of view, they're both right, right? They're just seeing things from different perspectives, right? But at the end, we're all in the middle, right? And we all live here, right? So this is a beautiful play. I really like this. So Chad, please tell us where and when.
Yes, so you can see Toronto the Good at Buddies in Bad Times Theatre, and it's showing September 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. We're also doing a matinee show on Sunday, September 9th, which we're having a discussion panel after the show to talk about the issues. We've invited the author Andrew Moody. We have the Toronto Police Association president. We have a Toronto School Board District trustee coming. We have a psychotherapist, a pastor, you know, to just create an open discussion about it, which I'm really excited about.
Okay, well,
Yes.
that sounds like the place to be.
Right? And, people can get tickets through Buddies in Bad Times. You can call their box office, or you can go online to their website to purchase
Okay,
tickets.
well, looking forward to this beautiful play. Thank you all very much. I think I really enjoyed this interview tremendously, eh?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, so thank you all for coming. And well, let's see this beautiful project, eh?
Yes,
Absolutely.
Toronto the Good.
Toronto the Good.
Good.
So yes.
Thanks for having us.
No, thank you guys. Okay. So this is Joshua Alvarez from Canada Star TV, and we're looking forward to Toronto the Good. So thank you very much, and let's all come and support this beautiful initiative. Okay, so have a good one. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.